came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of 3 Geeks Flix. Joining me as always is the Muse, Justin Kyle. Say hello everyone, Justin.
Hello everyone.
Yes, and of course I am the Tech, Mitchell Wright. We're back here again. We've got another warm blankets list for you, and for those of you that have jumped into this show and this is your first time, I'm still going to go ahead and make Justin explain to you what a warm blanket is.
So a warm blanket is something that you grew up watching, that you are, regardless of what the critical reception is or what other people say, because you grew up watching it and it's warm in your heart, hence the name Warm Blanket, you will always love this movie. You know, a lot of tests of warm blankets, they don't actually hold up. But, yeah, it's a good time.
Indeed, indeed. All right, folks. Well, I can't say it any better, and I really care not to. So, as I always do, I look to you, good Muse, and say, Justin, give it to me. What you got?
So, now every single one of these that we're going to talk about tonight on my side are in some way connected to my intermediate family. They all have a special place. A lot of these are brother centric, but some of these are inter-family centric. Every one of them has a special place in my family's heart. It's very important.
Okay.
With that in mind, the first one is a classic film. This is about as warm blanket as you get. Again, it's subjective. That's one of the requirements for warm blanket. It's a movie, 1994 release called The War of the Buttons.
The War of the Buttons.
So again, you know, I don't
me.
think a lot of people have seen this. It's a classic film. It'd be a little weird for you to watch it now, Mitchell, just because it's about preteens in Ireland battling. You know, it's a battle of the classes. You know, it's sort of like the oppressive environment of Ireland in the 1960s. It had a main character called Fergus versus Geronimo. Imagine two gangs essentially in Ireland, but they're like 12-year-olds, and they used to fight over money with sticks. And so you could tell who won because the side that won would take all of the others' buttons. Hence the name War of the Buttons.
Okay, I'll have to check that one out.
I did that no justice with that description, but it's a great film, solid warm blanket. I give it about a 7.5.
Okay, 7.5 for the War of Buttons. I'll have to check that out. I have not heard nor have not seen a bit on that, so got to learn something every now and then, by God. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
My first warm blanket is a 1986 John Carpenter movie. It stars Kurt Russell, Kim Cattrall, James Hong, and Victor Wong in Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's a good action comedy, sort of fantasy, and Jack Burton, ladies and gentlemen, truck driver, international man extraordinaire, good old American. I mean, Kurt Russell plays the antithesis of your typical 80s truck driver of the time that gets pulled into a fantasy film kind of genre of ancient Japan and sorcerers and everything. And Kim Cattrall plays his to-be love interest. So if you haven't seen this, it's a great 80s flick. John Carpenter, I mean, come on. The man is a legend among directors in film. One of Kurt's early easy classics. He had a lot that he did there in the 80s. He was the action 80s star with a comedic twist to it. So check it out. Enjoy it. And hey, Kim Cattrall, young in the flesh, and me.
Rock.
And Justin's having a little trouble with his dog Rocco right
now. He's doing a little itch and scratch, but
yeah. But I'd give it it's a solid 7 for Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, that's a classic film for sure. There's not a lot to say about it when it comes to the 80s cult classics, but that definitely stands the test of time.
Indeed it does.
Okay, so moving along, my second film is the 1992 classic warm blanket film called Sidekicks with Chuck Norris.
Oh, Sidekicks.
So It stars Jonathan Brandis, rest in peace. He had a tragic you know of how that ended. It's him when he was in his prime. Chuck Norris was also arguably in his prime at that time.
And still is.
He still is. He never goes out of his prime.
No.
But yeah, I mean, it was a story of a troubled kid who used to get caught daydreaming, and when he did, he was always fighting with his idol, that would be Chuck Norris.
Mm-hmm.
So he actually learned jiu-jitsu, Mr. Dumpling, a lot of classic lines. He ends up taking on, similar, there's a lot of parallels between this and The Karate Kid, except it's a little bit better because it has Jonathan Brandis and Chuck Norris. So there's not a lot to say about it. It's a solid film. I give it an 8. Might as well give it an 8.
I can give it an 8. And I'll definitely give it an 8 because if Chuck Norris you're watching, it's always a 10 in our hearts, but it's an 8 for the fans.
Right.
Just saying. Nobody died yet, so I think we're safe.
Right.
All right. Well, folks, my second film is we're going to take a trip to the 90s. It's a 1993 Richard Linklater film. Stars Jason London, Joey Lauren Adams, Mia Jovovich, Ben Affleck, Matthew McConaughey, and Willie Wiggins as Mitch in Dazed and Confused.
That's a classic film, bro.
It is a classic film.
That's a great film. So
many great one-liners from this movie. So many memorable moments. The cast itself, some of them aren't big anymore, but 3 of them right there in the group that I just mentioned are very big stars in Hollywood today and still going strong. Love the story, man. How can you not? I mean, it's what high school kind of was. It really captured, for my era, my generation, even though this was supposed to be back in like the 70s, right. There was still a lot of this very present. And don't get me wrong, if you say it's not, you're a liar, or you need to crawl out of your house and go out sometime like those other kids did in the movie. Because it's just how it is. But Wooderson, it doesn't get any better than Matthew McConaughey's lines in that movie.
I still like Pink, man. I'm a classic. What a great lesson to never get paddled by seniors ever. Mm-hmm. How bad did that hurt? As it should have hurt. Indeed. Yeah, that's a classic film, man. What a coming of age story too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the film's easily, folks, and I have to get it's a 9. It's a great film.
Completely agreed. What a great choice.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, moving along. My third film is a classic film, classic warm blanket. When I think of this film, I always associate it with my brother, who is a comic genius. He's the funniest person I've ever met in my life. He's my brother. So, and a lot of this has to do with this film as well as the story of the film. It's a classic film, a 1992 film called A River Runs Through It.
Oh.
Narrated and directed by the great Robert Redford.
Mm-hmm.
Brad Pitt when he was still coming up. He hasn't quite made his peak yet, but it was
Right.
typical
Right.
90s. What
Very
a
much.
great, solid film. If you
Quiet.
go back and watch it, it holds up tremendously well for a period piece.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
So, the themes, as genuinely heartfelt at sometimes, it was very dramatic,
Mm-hmm.
very suspenseful, very emotional, and funny, too, as
Mm-hmm.
well as, whenever he takes Nikki's brother out for fishing, and then he ends up losing his clothes and he gets sunburnt so bad that he can't walk.
Yep.
How emotional was it when you find out, how Brad Pitt actually died? That they broke every hand in his body. That you could either take that as they tortured him or he went down swinging. That's the thing. It's a solid film, man. Every
Solid
time you
film.
watch it, it just brings me back. It brings me back, and there's not a lot you have to say about it, really. If you've seen it, I don't know anyone that doesn't like that film for a reason.
Agreed. It's a good show. What's your rating?
I'm gonna give it a 9.
I'll agree with you. Hey, I'll agree with you. It's a great story. Cannot be duplicated or redone in any way or fashion. Really, I mean, I was speechless there. I was like, man, how do you describe that? I mean,
That's
Robert
how
Redford
good
narrating it, and then you've got a young,
people stutter.
yeah,
It makes me speechless.
you got a young Brad Pitt. I mean, come on, man. Classic. They just did not know how good they did when they cast that movie.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, moving along. I'm going to take you back to 1987. It's a comedy. It is a spoof movie directed by Mel Brooks. If any of y'all don't know, Mel Brooks is like the grandfather of comedy. It's got Bill Pullman, John Candy, Mel Brooks, and Rick Moranis in Spaceballs.
Baseball. Classic.
Man, how awesome is this movie? We all know Star Wars, and of course you see I absolutely adore Star Wars. But what Mel Brooks and that group of people did to the spoof of the story in Spaceballs, and the comedic genius that they used of Brooks in certain parts, like combing the desert with the big comb. The radar was jammed. Here comes the jam.
Right.
Mr. Coffee, and all that stuff, and I'm surrounded by assholes. I mean, it's
Right.
like, those are awesome scenes, man.
Right.
It's just, you don't get, this is, other than, of course, the Airplane movies and the Zucker brothers, nobody quite does spoof movies like Mel Brooks. And this film, regardless of whether it's I would say it transcends cult classic to it is a classic. It is a classic comedy.
It is.
I can remember sitting back watching this with my brother and my folks, laughing, loving every minute of it, even though it was poking fun at Star Wars. We still loved it. It was still a great story, even though you kind of knew how it was going to go. But just can't say enough. Rick Moranis was great as Dark Helmet. Mel Brooks, of course, played the governor, or is it governor or emperor? I can't remember the name of his character. And then he also played shame on me, I can't remember his name. It's been so long since I've seen it. But he played the Yoda-like figure. And, of course, John Candy is Barf. And Barf, man. John Candy, the great late John Candy.
Rick Moranis. I mean, this was the start of them becoming legends, if you ask me. But
exactly.
Yeah, man, that's a great film. That's a cult classic.
And then Bill Pullman is Lone Star.
Bill Pullman.
It's very nice. Very nice. So you haven't checked it out, folks. If you're young and you watch this Spaceballs, it is very much, when you sit down and watch it, you will want to wrap up with a warm blanket and enjoy it with someone. It's a 9. Easy 9.
Yeah, that's a 9. I agree with that. Okay, my fourth film, in all seriousness, it's time to get serious.
Okay, hey, I've got some serious.
This is a very, very serious, dramatic, life-changing film. The 1993 film release of a film called Free Willy.
I'm sorry. You knew it was going to happen. I'm glad you laughed first.
There's not a lot I have to say about this except.
You did it again. Oh, you dirty man. You.
Except, how awesome was the Free Willy theme song by Michael Jackson?
Oh, this is just laced in innuendos.
No. I'm not trying to. But the on all of my notes that I have so far for this list, the only thing I have for Free Willy is Free Willy 1993, and that's so again, Jesse. As much as we're laughing, it was pretty iconic. I got to give a shout out again to my brother, whose favorite shot is burned in his memory is a shot of Jesse's cool blue school uniform that he had laid out. Yeah, he had awesome shoes. Jared, love you, buddy. No, it's a good film. It's a solid film. You grew up watching it. Hey, as corny as it was, and this is textbook 90s. It came out in 1990.
Oh, yeah.
How iconic is that one shot of him with his hand and Willy flies over?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the shot everybody knows. It was on the DVD.
Yep, Free Willy. I'll give it a solid 10. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I don't know. 7.5?
7.5 will work for me. 7.5, yeah.
All right, let's move on before I get to...
Moving along. Oh. No, my next film is a 1989 film. It is a comedy, but it has some awesome names in Hollywood in it. It was directed by Stephen Herrick, and it stars Keanu Reeves, Alex Winter, and George Carlin in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. There's not a whole lot I have to say about that.
There's not. So
I'm not going to. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice.
No, everybody, and who all remembers Missy, the mom?
Oh yeah.
Who didn't have a crush on Missy? And then George Carlin, the smart ass time traveling guy that picks Keanu Reeves, Alex Winter up, and gets everything going, and Wild Stallions, baby. I mean, come on.
Wild Stallions. That's all you got to say right there.
And I as much as I love this one and I love the second one, I am excited that possibly the third may be happening. So
right. I don't know about that.
If it's done right, it'll be good. If it's done, it would good to see Keanu Reeves playing in a comedy again.
Yes, this was the start of his iconic "whoa" when sort of saying that.
Yeah.
Do you like this one or Bogus Adventure better? Which one do you like better?
That will be something that we can address at a later time in another episode.
All right, I agree.
But the movie's an 8. Give it an 8.
It's solid.
Solid.
Solid flick.
But the reason I see it as a warm blanket, watching it with my brother, man. Like you were watching it with yours. I'm sitting there watching it with Eric, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I mean, how many of us have kids go in to our rooms? Eric and I had black lights and a strobe light, and we would go in and we put on Van Halen, and we'd act like we were playing it, and we were putting on a rock show with the black light on and with the strobe light on, and just thought we were absolute badasses. And so, the music from this is two guys that couldn't play and end up becoming... these legends in time. So
right, it's a classic film. Indeed. Hang on.
Hello, Rocco.
Dude, I'm about to put him up. He's seriously getting on my nerves.
I gotta have more cowbell, baby.
All right, after that little brief intermission there for Mr. Rocco, I look to you, Good Muse, for your final warm blanket of the episode.
So, this is my last one. In all seriousness, as I was joking with the Free Willy one, in all seriousness, this is considered a groundbreaking film. 1939, The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, man. Yeah. Very nice, sir. Drop that mic.
And, you know, I've said this before. This is the epitome of one of the ones that you don't have to say a lot about in film history.
And I won't even laugh because you don't have to say a thing about it. It's the Wizard of Oz, man.
Judy Garland.
Yes, classic.
Jack Haley.
Mm-hmm.
Margaret Hamilton as a witch.
Yep.
Groundbreaking visual effects. The music alone.
Oh yeah.
The set designs back then.
It's epic proportions, man. Epic proportions.
That's the thing. I mean, it get when you're honoring film history, you know, this is definitely of every single person's list, probably in the top 10 to at least 5 films of all time as far as the impact it's had on filmmaking.
Oh, absolutely.
So, and again, this is like one of those other ones that we both mentioned. Some, you know, this is a warm blanket for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Every single person of all ages. This is a warm blanket for. This is one of my mom's favorite movies, probably in our top 3 favorite movies. Again, my mom is the original gangster of our family when it comes to movies and movie trivia. She's the only one that I would hesitate to go up against as far as movie trivia, just because she'll always show me my place. But yeah, shout out to you, Mom. We can't do better. This is the best warm blanket I probably ever had. Objectively looking at it,
it is.
There's not a lot you have to say about it.
It is, and it is fantastic. That movie's a 10, and it will be a 10 throughout ages, no questions asked. And if you don't agree, stay subscribed, but get the out, Twilight.
No, you unsubscribe, motherfucker. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
But not really. Oh, to follow that up, or to try to follow that up, you know, it's shame on me that I let him go first when he tells me he's got a bomb to drop. He had a bomb to drop, all right. Mine is a 1986 film. The director is Tony Scott. It stars Tom Cruise, Tim Robbins, Val Kilmer, Kelly McGinnis, Anthony Edwards, Tom Skerritt, Michael Ironsides, and Meg Ryan in Top Gun.
It's good, man. It's real good. That's the thing.
Great film. The score itself is iconic, epic, and timeless, and can be recognized anywhere by anyone that has just briefly seen the movie. Not only that, but the source music in it from Kenny Loggins is
Danger Zone.
Absolutely epic song.
Highway to the Danger Zone. Right.
Everybody knows that. I mean, Maverick, Goose, Iceman, Viper. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Goose was the man. I mean, how heart-wrenching was that? And
Iceman was the man too, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But Goose was the man.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was, folks. But just an awesome movie. Great dogfight scenes. Actually, no CGI whatsoever. Right. CGI was not a thing. They did these, folks. They did all this in this movie. And that's what makes it so amazingly timeless and classic of a fighter pilot movie. Of what it is. A military movie, yeah, but a fighter pilot movie that is an actual drama that you feel. And there are moments to where when Goose dies, I get teary-eyed.
Right.
And if you haven't seen it, sorry, spoiler, you suck. You should have seen it by now. It's in 86, plenty of years to check it out. But just a great movie. As much of me wants to give it a 10, I got to give it a 9.5. It didn't necessarily change anything in movies, so to speak.
Right.
But it was a fantastic movie, nonetheless.
It was all of those things. I mean, very, very. The Goose scene is what made it, dramatic and heartfelt. What a great love story as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, Maverick was the man. Let's not get things confused. He was macking on this instructor that was like a good 10 years older, which he looked like. What a man. And then Iceman was the man as well. I mean, Kenny Loggins, that's all you got to say. What a great choice What a great choice.
Thank
I
you,
commend
sir.
you, sir. Great choice.
I didn't quite hold up to the Wizard of Oz, but I felt that it did its best to stand in its glory.
So, the only argument I can see that this is you could consider this groundbreaking, and it's still a little pushing, but you already outlined it, was the fact that it was all practical, and they all really did it. I mean, Tony Scott, it was a man. This is the film that put Tom Cruise as a leading man for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is like, okay, he's not playing around. He's the real deal. Give him millions of dollars so he can smile. So, yeah, what a great film. Great film. Good choice, sir. Good
Appreciate
choice.
it, sir. Good list. Good lists all around, folks. Good list, and that is it for you for this episode. So other than that, check us out on Facebook. It's 3 Geeks Flix, spelled out. 3 Geeks Flix, Flix. Give us a like, comment, holler, troll, get involved. Let us know you're out there so we can build a relationship and get to know you. If you don't do Facebook, we've got Twitter. It's at the number 3 Geeks Flix, Flix. Again, follow, troll, holler, get involved. Let us know. We're not untouchable. We'd love to have you all on, have you all staying involved so that maybe we can have you on a Geek Speak or any other episode of that. It doesn't have to be a Geek Speak, which of course are all on YouTube. Again, just 3 Geeks Flix. Put it in. Check us out. Sit down with a friend, subscribe, and do enjoy. And I emphasize subscribe. But anyway, enjoy in that. So that's all I've got. Muse?
Subscribe twice.
Leave it to you to be the leader into the impractical, to try to think it's practical.
Well, yes.
But anyway, none of that makes sense, and we're just going to roll right along through that, folks.
All right, that works. Let's go.
Sorry, he's had a lot of dog fumes today, so we'll just leave it at that. He's got that look like he wants to stab me. Okay, stop.
This is the longest exit ever.
I know. But anyway, appreciate y'all sticking around, and stay tuned to the glow of those monitors, folks, because we're going to catch you next time. Good night.
Did you want to get Patty's phone number?
Patty's a guy.
That's payback for last week. Remember when I went to the gas station?
Time's coming, bitch.
Free.
I'm not. You like the change? It's a little more open. It's got a hat on.
It's all in good fun.
Yeah. Till I whoop your ass.
I'm not gonna say it both of ours, but of mine, it's hard for me to not look at this and be like, yeah, it's the most impactful, really. Like I'm not trying to speak out of hyperbole, but when you hear it, if you don't agree, which I'm sure you will agree, you're gonna be like, yeah, it's hard to argue against that. Oh, I see what you're doing there.
Took you long enough. My nose is getting raw. I was running out of places to rub. I can't put that in. That's me.
Yeah.
I will not put that in.
It's Thanksgiving, almost.
Folks, thank God you did not get that outtake, because like it was bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. Okay. What's with the Mr. Belvedere jacket?
Kidding me?
Okay, whatever.
That's a brown leather polo, my friend.
All right, Mr. Belvedere.
What is that? This jacket's badass. I've had a lot of people want to buy this from me. Look at the inside. Burberry. What the are you talking about? My Conor McGregor impression.
Yeah. Aren't we dapper?
I like to whoop ass and look good, and right now I'm doing one. Saturday night I'm doing the other.
Well, right now I am not looking good, and I don't plan on whooping any ass, so action?
He's done nothing but piss me off today, and I'm serious about it. Come here.
Hey, there's only so many times I can use that censor button, okay? And now that we're back, sorry, we had a little intermission there. I believe I just got done, and Justin, it is your turn for your last warm blanket of the episode.
Well, second to last. This is my fourth one.
Is it?
It is. This is my fourth one.
No. I've already done 1, 2, 3, and 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah. This is one.
Okay, let me start that again.
I came outside. I had to put some paper towels that I used to clean up Rocco's diarrhea outside, and it smells in my apartment. Not kidding. Like I've emptied fragrance. I had to go and buy fragrance cans because I ran out of Axe spray to spray. It's like, sucks. I wish he was a nice dog.
Well, you know that generally animals sometimes mimic their owner's personalities.
I'm about to bite your ass in a second. It's going down. Like, I'm gonna get up, but I will kill this cat. And I don't want to do that. And plus, cats are a little scary to me anyways. I mean, anyways. I manned up, I got a broom, and I was like, come on, kitty.